Hot, tanned mommy dual-wielding world-ending destructive weapons, constantly teasing you and wants you to call her mommy.
I have come!
Now the term mommy used to be a normal word said by babies and children. But now you mostly hear the word come off the mouth of down bad men who foams their mouth when they see a hot older woman and they just want to be picked up, held in their arms, and get fed with their nice warm titty milk. Now I have to come out and say it, but personally I'm not a fan of MILFs. Well, not until 2 weeks ago. So I was just doing my daily activity where I scroll on hentai for some amazing things to see until I decided to try the MILF tag. And that's when the world around me changed and my third eye rose up to the surface, for I have truly been enlightened and have fully blessed my eyes with sacredness. And after seeing that this manga has a hot-tanned mommy, I instantly dive right into it like I'm Michael Phelps going for the Olympics. This manga is basically about this guy who's constantly being teased around by this hot, gorgeous, tanned mommy, and he slowly falls for her. But the story looks like it's setting up some major reveal on why the tanned mommy is targeting our boy. Oh, and here's the manga's name. Our protagonist is sleeping until a girl appears over him and pinches his nose. He quickly woke up, and the girl tells him to get up, otherwise she'll play a little prank on him while he's asleep. One where he'll wake up with a little pain in his booty hole. Our boy blushes and said good morning to her, and as he's about to call her mom, he backed down and called her ma'am. She looks at him and tells him to address her as mom when they're at home, but obviously she's not his real mom. However, she is a mommy, and her name is actually Yadori Hana. She then tells him to calm down since his one-eyed snake was staring directly at her face the entire time. She gave him a cheeky grin and walks away. Now, the blueprint on how to get to live in the same house with a hot mommy like this is to have your entire apartment burned down on your first year of university, have a friend call you and offer their parents' house for you to stay in. Our boy walks in and right out the front door, he's instantly greeted by a tanned girl and a pair of mommy milkers, and she welcomes him and calls him honey. Our protagonist got real confused and she said just kidding. She then asks how was it since she was trying to do something like a maid cafe thing but at a guest house. And right off the bat she was already teasing him, but just like me and most guys watching this video, he wouldn't mind being teased by this hot tanned mommy. As a matter of fact, I would even pay to be teased by a hot mommy like this. She reveals that she heard about him. He's the guy whose house got burned to ashes. Our protagonist Yoichi then introduces himself to her. She's surprised by how polite he is, and wonders if it's only the face that matches. She then welcomes him to the guest house. She explains that he can basically choose any room he wants since there's not a lot of people right now, and she introduces herself as the landlady. Yoichi got confused since he thought it's supposed to be Itsuki's mom who's the landlady, which is his friend. Hana then points to herself and lets him know that she's the mom and she's 34 years old. Our boy got shocked to realize that his friend has such a hot mom, but she said, "Nah, I'm just playing, I'm his aunt." Yoichi then receives a call from his mom, and like any good son would do, he declines the call and leaves his mom worrying about her son whose apartment just burned down. They got to his room and Yoichi is surprised since he's never seen anything this big. She tells him to do whatever he wants, and that meals start at 6 p.m. and he can take a bath afterward. His friend calls him and said he's into gals who are nice to otakus, right? And for Yoichi, gals who are kind to otakus are like muscular, dark-skinned tomboys to me. Absolute perfection. So our boy got rock hard hearing this. But he remembers that he had already accepted the fact that life isn't a harem manga, whereby being a loser otaku you'll emit immense virgin aura and suddenly attract the hot popular girl. And then that girl will call in more of her hot friends, and they'll all just get butt naked and start twerking all over you. However, his friend tells him, what if he say he could find that kind of woman in the guest house? Yoichi couldn't believe what he was hearing, so his friend said he'll send him a picture. Our boy checks his phone, and just like me opening Fortnite in 2018, his ass cheeks blasted right open in happiness, because this girl checks all his Christmas lists. Cute, sexy, and more importantly, absolutely massive cannons. Now, if you have enough brain power to stop yourself from drooling unlike our protagonist, then you would realize that this girl is Hana. Yoichi got his priorities straight and quickly ran out to Hana to ask about this girl. But he catches her scrubbing the bath, and oh my holy goodness of assets, I didn't know her jeans are made out of condoms, because how do jeans get so damn tight you see the shape of those gorgeous lips? She then turns around all while still giving him a clear view of those earth-crushing level planets and asks what's up. She apologizes since she still hasn't finished cleaning the bath, but she said he can get in if he's fine with her cleaning at the same time. But that's just not happening since he'll be going full mast with his rocket as hard as a diamond if he were to shower while she's in it. So he helped her with the cleaning instead. After they're done, she made him lots of seafood dishes, and Yoichi felt bad because she prepared such a nice-looking meal and he doesn't have any money for it. Hana tells him not to worry about it, so our boy got ready to dig right in hopes that she won't come back to trade his organs for all the food he eats since he don't have money to repay her. He took a bite, and it's so delicious he climaxed a little from his tongue touching it. She then gave him a smile that'll make him go for a hard climax. Yoichi blushes, and he realizes that his heart flutters whenever he looks into her eyes, almost like they're hypnotizing him and pulling him closer to them. His mom calls him again, and since Yoichi isn't picking it up, Hana reaches over and accepts it for him. She explains the entire situation and introduces herself, and lets Yoichi's mom knows that Yoichi is a bit busy with something right now. But everything is perfectly fine, and she hopes that next time Yoichi's mom can also come and stay with them. They said goodbye to each other and ended the call. Hana then hands the phone back to him. Hana lets him know that his mom is really worried, and the author clearly knows what he's doing here with this panel, and I'm here for it. She asks if he feels awkward with his mom. Yoichi thinks she's going to lecture him, but Hana completely understands since she isn't Itsuki's real parent, and she feels the same. Yoichi then reveals that nothing is wrong with his parents because they support him and love him like what normal parents would do. But the problem is his studies are completely horrible, and he feels like he can't live up to their expectations, and for that he feels guilty about it. So he decided to run away from home and went to a university in the countryside since he couldn't go to the university of his first choice. And now with his home burning down, he knows that his parents will try to support him, and he wouldn't want to be a burden to them. Grabs his cheeks and hugs him using her warm twin milk blasters. And our boy starts suffocating in it, and that's how you know it's perfect. She then starts explaining about how the guest house isn't really luxurious or anything, but it's rather simple and casual, just like a safe home, and that's the nice part. And for the people who come to her guest house, she wants to be both the landlady and the mother. She then tells him that if he don't have a place to stay, this place can be his home, and he can address her as Mom. However, if he's too embarrassed for that, he can just call her Hana. Our boy is nearly out of oxygen, and he said he'll just call her Mom, but personally, I'll just call her Mommy. He got out of that situation and thanks her for the delicious meal. He then gets to the important part and asks if she knows who this girl is, and he shows her the picture. Her face dropped and asks, where did he get the photo? Yoichi explains that Itsuki sent it to him and said that she lives here. And our boy explains that he was just wondering if such a cute girl really exists. Hana started blushing and asks if he's into those types of flashy girls with piercings on their tongues. She bet that he thinks they'll do naughty things to him, and she just read him like an open book. She explains that it's her niece, and she helps her out during the vacation, so she's not here right now. After hearing that it's her niece, Yoichi realizes that that's why the girl looks so similar to her. Hana walks out, and Yoichi got pissed at his friend for giving him false hope. But as Hana slides the door closed, she sticks out her tongue, and oh my god, she has a piercing on her tongue. Who would have thought that it would be her in that photo? Yoichi looks at his phone and sees university couples posting about their love life on social media and stuff. Our boy got real jealous and said he could also get a girlfriend if it wasn't for his house burning down, as he takes a puff of that copium pack. Suddenly Hana appears beside him and said, a university student can definitely get a girlfriend if they start living alone. She then said that uni students always thrusting and busting, but she said just kidding. She wouldn't know anything about university since she only finished high school and took over this place right after. She then realizes that Yoichi needs to go to university today, but he said, nah, I'm feeling lazy, so Hana invites him to the sea. Yoichi's body got real tensed over the thought that Hana is changing into her beach outfit right behind this rock, and he's currently fighting the devil that's telling him to take a peek at her at this very moment. He thinks she's about to get into some godly outfit since she's very tan, but as he turns around when she's done, he sees her in a wetsuit. A suit that'll make our boy wet his pants because it's extremely tight, And as she stretches her body, the suit sinks into every part of her body, and I mean every part, like she's wearing a big body condom. She then dives into the water to catch some fish to prepare their meal. She got up with a fish in her mouth, and suddenly she starts holding on to a fish and swims around like she's Aquaman. They got out of the water and she prepared the meal for him. Yoichi took a bite, and he's amazed by its flavor. She starts smiling since Yoichi is now feeling better, so she encourages him to go to his university, and she tells him that his curfew is 9 p.m. Yoichi ends up going to class, and a girl appears and asks him if he wants to join a small get-together they got for their class, starting at 7 p.m. Yoichi thinks it's a good way to get friends, but he realizes that if he were to attend the get-together, he won't be able to be home by 9 p.m. Our boy starts thinking hard, like he's studying rocket science or something, and recalls the moment the hot mommy landlord looks at him while sitting in that position, so he denies the offer. Yoichi got back to the guest house with an unpleasant face, and Hana panics thinking the food tastes like ass, but Yoichi explains that that isn't it. He's a bit sad that he missed the chance to make friends with some girls today. Hana slams the table and got up and tells him that they'll be going somewhere after 9:30 p.m. and she'll listen to his stories. Yoichi got excited thinking about what she's going to wear outside the guest house, but she just wore the same thing but without the apron. They got into the bar and, oh my, she is bad. The super hot cool girl at the bar then asks if Yoichi is here with Hana, and after looking at him for a bit, she feels like she's seen his face somewhere before. But Hana interrupts them and orders 2 drinks, and Yoichi gets to have tea because he's under the drinking age. Hana asks Yoichi what his problems are, and tells him to ask for advice from Mommy Ren, which is the waitress. She explains that they've known each other since they were students, and Ren can give you some life-changing advice to make all the girls instantly fold and drown their panties at the presence of him. Hana then reaches out her hand for a fist bump, but Ren isn't having any of that. Yoichi asks her what important things to know in order to get a girlfriend in the future after missing the chance to get one in university. Alright, now I gotta sit up and lock in here because this might be beneficial for me as well. Ren took another quick puff, and with a lively face and cheerful smile, she said kindness and compassion. Hana starts clapping after hearing those super inspiring words, and Ren asks why did he leave an empty seat in the middle from Hana, and that's where he got a start. He explains that the seats are a bit close, and he's scared of women. Hana then asks what he thinks is the most important element in love. Yoichi thought about it for a minute and said, "Face." Hana starts laughing and calls him a virgin for his answer. Damn, she don't gotta call me out like that. Ren then added that if that's what he thinks, then love is not for him. However, Hana lets him know that the face is indeed important at the start. She then brings up the fact that Yoichi is pretty much here just because of the girl in the photo he showed her. Ren asks her about it, but Hana says it's classified information. Hana then wonders if Itsuki also has a girlfriend. Yoichi tells her that he can tell her about Itsuki since he's good friends with him. She then teases him since he's showing kindness and compassion right away. She smiles and said in return she'll teach him what a woman is. Yoichi starts sweating and Ren got confused hearing this. Hana then moves into the seat closer to him, and while staring into his eyes, she pulls down her shirt. And oh my good lord, somebody dial 911 because she's about to nuke the entire bar with those ginormous milk rockets. Yoichi was stunned and he turned pale, like he just got jump scared. He continues to stare deeply into the abyss for what feels like hours, and he starts to feel like he's being pulled into it, and to make him fall even deeper into the mysterious valley, she asks if he wants to touch them. However, our boy didn't reply to her since he was so focused on analyzing the shape and size of it, to make sure this image fully burns into the back of his skull so he can maybe get home and make a DIY titties of the exact same measurements. Hana then burst out laughing. Since Yoichi was blushing so hard it looks like he's about to explode, both his face and his pants. She reveals that she knows he's always staring at her personalities, so she just wanted to tease him a little, and she suggests that if he wants a girlfriend, he should start looking at her eyes when they talk and not her massive milk jugs. But you can't really blame the guy since it's pretty much constantly staring at him whenever it's in the frame of his eyesight. Ren then asks, why would he want to date a girl in university when he has a really nice woman looking after him right now? She then said that he's having a much better time than those students in university. When they got home, Yoichi lay in bed while staring at the picture of the girl his friend sent him. He zooms into her mole and realizes that Hana also has a mole at the exact same spot. However, our boy just brushes it off as some coincidence since the horny demons are getting to him and his brain's not functioning properly. He thinks more about Hana, and he gets ready to unleash his shot of unholiness to clear his mind and go to sleep. But he stops himself since he's afraid that Hana might find out about it if he throws it in the trash, since she'll be able to smell the unholiness from it. However, he thinks that if Hana were to find out, she'll probably say it can't be helped and forgive him. The next morning, Hana is smiling and said it can't be helped, and tells him to not worry about it. It just proves that he's a healthy boy. Yoichi is embarrassed out of his mind, and turns out last night he was able to fend off the horny demons and dodges all its skill shot like he's Faker. But suddenly his game crashed and he had a wet dream instead. And in the end, Hana caught him washing his clothes and asks him about it. She then tells him that she'd never be hard on someone 'cause of that. Besides, she's used to seeing things like these. Yoichi got confused on what she meant by this, but she changes the topic and tells him to buy some clothes for today, since he won't be having enough clothes to wear. Yoichi is out shopping for clothes and his mom calls him, and she's planning on visiting him later on. Yoichi panics and tells her not to come. He got onto the bus back to the guest house, and he said to himself that he has to start searching for a new house, since he don't want to be a burden on Hana forever. So he plans to confirm today if the gal in the photo is actually Hana, and after that, he'll leave the guest house. He got off the bus and sees Hana welcoming 2 new members who just arrived at the guest house. Yoichi tries walking by her without saying anything, but Hana pulls him in and tells him to say "I'm back" when he comes home. Hana and the 2 other guests are drinking and talking about casual stuff like about the couple's marriage and other things, and Yoichi compliments Hana for being able to close the gap between strangers so quickly and act natural with them. Hana then asks did they pick to stay at this guest house after hearing about them. The guest said yeah, because her reviews are the highest around here, but Hana said that's not what she's talking about. She then whispers something into the girl's ear, and she started blushing real hard, and Hana smiles at her. Night came. Yoichi just got out the shower and sat in his room. Suddenly he starts hearing some Netflix and chill noises in the other room, so he starts listening to them. Until Hana pulls up on him with the laundry, Yoichi then calls Hana and got ready to ask his question. But the room next to them keep putting their Netflix show on max volume, interrupting his question. Hana explains that this place is extremely haunted, since all the couples who stay here always end up being possessed by the hip thruster demon, causing them to spawn in a new entity 9 months after staying at this place. And among the locals, this place is known as the House of Child, and she explains that sometimes cleaning it up can be a huge problem. Hana then asks what was he going to ask her about before they got interrupted by the loud sound beside his room. She teasingly asks if he's thinking about looking at her milkers like yesterday. Our boy starts panicking and quickly denies this. However, if this was me, I'd easily gamble everything away as if I was a jobless 40-year-old man going through a midlife crisis, and agrees with her, and cross my finger hoping I'll get lucky and have her do devious things with me. She then asks what's his request. Yoichi starts blushing and asks her to show him her tongue. Hana got shocked hearing this, and she asks why. Now Yoichi didn't want to say that he wants to confirm that the girl in the photo and her are the same person, since it'll be like calling her out for lying earlier. Instead, he just told her that he loves tongue. He then freaks out since this is way worse than asking it directly, but Hana said it can't be helped. She then puts her hand on the ground and slowly crawls towards him, and as she got above him, she opens her mouth, sticks out her long, pierced tongue, and she said something that I just can't understand. So if anyone can figure out what she's saying here, comment it down below. Yoichi starts blushing, and as Hana was about to leave the room, she tells him that if he's planning on unleashing his ungodly load, then don't be too late. Hana got to the bathroom, and as she's washing her piercing, she said she feel like an idiot. Meanwhile, Yoichi is having a panic attack, and Bro's still contemplating whether she's actually the gal in the photo, but he said he needs to quickly find a new home, otherwise he might fall in love with her. Now, I don't see a problem with this at all. And what does bro mean when he said he might fall in love? I mean, look at her. She's a hot mommy who's super nice and cheerful. What do you mean might? More like it's a guaranteed 100% kind of thing. But honestly, I want Ren to look after me and be my mommy so bad, but it looks like she can't even look after her own lungs. However, she's still hella bad, and besides, I can fix her.